All right, everybody. Happy Sunday. We've talked about this a few times this month, but June is a competition month for the company. So I have been, we've got 28 YouTube channels at Chat Sports. I have been matched up against these 4 other channels, and current standings for most likes on videos this month. I'm in third place, right? Giants now, hosted by Marshall Green. They're beating us by a little bit. Browns Report by Matthew Peterson, a complete schmuck, is somehow beating us right there. Number 2, us, Chiefs Reports, and then Broncos Breakdown, right? So 4 NFL channels. Just kidding out there, Peterson. Only did that because he's not producing for me right now himself. But I can't, coming in third place, we're, having a third of the way through the month or so. It's okay, but it's the average, right? Michigan football fans are better than that. So help me out, like the video, and just go back and like every video we've had this month. So Michigan Football Report can be at the top of that list. We'll update for you guys. We'll kind of put the raw number of total likes. I wasn't able to pull those right away for this show because June, reason we're doing these like battles is June is National Like a YouTube Video Month. So every month is something these days. This June, I guess, it's the only thing that people celebrate in June, right? I think a lot of brands out there have changed like their logos to YouTube-focused logos to honor National Like a YouTube Video Month. The only thing that I think most people in the YouTube world celebrate in the month of June. So help us out. Like this video. Hell, go like our last 2 or 3 videos all in the month of June. We are going to talk a lot of things about Harbaugh's Wolverines coming up in the show right now. If you were with us on Friday, you saw the Michigan Football Report Ask Me Anything Part 1. This is Part 2, and then a couple days from now, coming up on Tuesday, we're going to have Part 3. Make sure you guys are tuned in tomorrow. I'm going to chug a beer, do 20 push-ups, chug another beer, try and do it in like 2.5 minutes. I don't even know what a reasonable expectation is. Marsh, what do you think we can do? Chug a beer, 20 push-ups, chug another beer. What do you think I should put my goal as? 2 minutes? 2 minutes. Okay, we'll shoot for 2 minutes. That's all coming up on Monday. This is Ask Me Anything Part 2. If you missed Part 1, it's down in the comments and the description of this video. We are also on Rumble. If you're watching on YouTube, check us out on Rumble. Raw, uncensored. Coming up later this summer, I'm going to put some exclusive videos on there. And my favorite thing about the Rumble app is that you can just take your phone, kind of go check out your text messages, go check out the internet. The app minimized, you can still listen to the show in the background, unlike YouTube, which is great, but you can always just stare at your phone like we ask you to on YouTube. So go check us out on Rumble, rumble.com/MichiganTV, and make sure you get the Rumble app. All right. Bunch of questions came in. We've got enough questions for like 10 Ask Me Anythings. We've got 3 over the last few days, and we'll continue like doing 1 a week with all the questions we got for last week's AMA. Baylor Wiggins, appreciate you, Baylor. We follow each other, Baylor and I do, on Instagram, on Twitter. He's a watcher of the show on YouTube, so definitely wanted to get his Ask Me Anything questions. We've also got, coming up on Tuesdays, Baylor's got another question similar to this one, so keep an eye out for that one. What are you, who are your pro sports teams? That's a good question because I live and die by Michigan football, right? I don't miss a game. It hurts when they lose, and I'm checking the internet for more information. I'm on Twitter. I'm all over the show on a daily basis. From a pro sports perspective, I don't want to sound like a front runner or like, oh, James there, but I lived in San Francisco for 5.5 years or so prior to moving to Dallas, and I got season tickets with a group of guys a year and a half or 2 years before the Warriors won their first championship. And I was part of the championship ride in 2015. I was at 4 of the 7 finals games in 2016, and I'm a Warriors fan, right? I don't miss a game. I probably watch 50 games out of the 80 a year, don't miss a playoff game, and that's my only pro sports team that I truly care about. When they lose, it hurts. I guess I kind of follow the Cleveland Browns, although they were bad for so long. I don't really change my weekends for watching a Browns game. If they're on, I'll watch it, and it certainly doesn't hurt if they lose because that would be a miserable life to live. So I guess just the Warriors other than Michigan. Michigan basketball I can get pretty passionate for from a college perspective once you get into the later parts of the Big Ten, especially years when they have a chance to win a championship. But let me know, folks. Comment below your 2 favorite pro sports teams. I'm going to just say Warriors and Browns, I guess, but it's really just the Warriors. And I've got a few big teams I like, but nothing I live and die on. Let me know down in the comments. We might have a YouTube channel for you, so let me know, and I'll comment back to you guys if we have a YouTube channel with a show for your favorite sports teams. You might get it with a YouTube ad break here, so scroll on down, type your pro sports teams below to the pinned comment on this video, scroll back up, ad break should be over. Next question coming in from Cody Frazier. How pissed off were you in 2016 when the Zebras, the refs, gave JT the phantom first down in 2016? I broke a TV and a chair because of it. Cody Frazier's my kind of guy, right? I broke a TV and a chair. I almost blinded my dog. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick story. So this is how I took it, right? Watched the game in San Francisco, right? It was my last year Michigan-Ohio State game in San Francisco. So JT was short. We all know that. You can push me here full. And so earlier in the game, my son at that point was only like 5, 6 weeks old, right? He was born October. This is November 2016. Number 2 versus number 3. Fourth down, Ohio State goes for it. Early in the game, I spiked a football and bounced off the wall and almost hit my 6-week-old son. But I got so mad when they gave him that phantom first down. He was this short, like Jim Harbaugh said. You Ohio State fans who troll our show, you can screenshot this and make it the new Harbaugh meme anytime you want to say that. But I threw my hat down so hard to the ground, I kind of grazed my dog's head. And my dog whimpered over in the corner. It's a 10-pound dog. And so I kind of hit the top of her head. I didn't realize she was on the ground there. An inch over, I may have blinded her, so I wasn't very proud of that moment. And then I walked around the neighborhood. I just went outside and put my hands like this. Did the, what's that called? The Cobra, Surrender Cobra for 5 minutes. Came inside, not talking. My wife, her sister's in the house, my kid, she says, hey, I ordered sandwiches. Can you go pick up the sandwiches? And I got a car, could have drove. I'm just like, I'm going to walk off this steam, get the sandwiches, walk back, and it starts raining, folks. And I don't even change my pace. I just walk home 12, 15 minutes with sandwiches in the rain. And I still think, all things being equal, that was the worst sports moment of my life. Even worse than the Michigan State. He had trouble with the snap the year prior. That was back-to-back. What a way for Jim Harbaugh to start his career at Michigan. Had he won both those games, I think the story would have been written a little different so far for Jim Harbaugh. And I'll ask you guys the question. If you say that he got it, I'm going to ban you from this channel permanently. So just watch yourself, all right? Was JT short? J.T. Barrett, fourth down in overtime, 2016, number 2, Ohio State, hosting number 3, Michigan. Type short, or if you want to get banned, type got it. But I'm not messing around here. You type got it, you are banned from the channel. Trevoris Beckley, thank you so much for the question. Ask me anything. James, can you use your context to persuade the offensive coordinators to implement the fullback dive into this playbook on short yardage? It worked flawlessly with Ben Mason. How about Khaled Hill in 2016? That was the one I loved, right? He had 10, 12 touchdowns that year as the tight end, then fullback as they put him in the game there. I actually talked to Tim Drevno on the phone. We were going to do an interview for him. My coworker Tom Downey and I were on the phone with Michigan's offensive coordinator Tim Drevno. We were going to do this whole expose through a partnership we had with Sports Illustrated, funny enough, that season. But then Michigan lost 2 weeks later to Iowa, and to kind of put the whole expose on pause, and didn't ever get around to writing it. But I'll put the word out, right? Michigan coaches, I'm sure the staff watches the show. I'm the most influential member of Michigan football media. We're dominating the internet. I'm sure they watch it. Put the fullback dive back in. It definitely worked. And even when the opponents knew that the fullback was getting it inside, the 1-2 yard line or for fourth down and 1, Michigan got it at a 90% clip back in 2015, 16, and 17. Carl Cordell, longtime viewer of the show. Thanks so much for watching and supporting us, Carl. Why is COLDridge, such a wuss when it's cold, or is it just in general? I don't know. I mean, look at those pictures when he was at Disney World before the Rose Bowl, right? The second-tier Rose Bowl that Ohio State had to go to last year. He looked miserable, right? He was pouting over there. He got this name, image, and likeness deal earlier in the week where he's driving a Bentley, and then all of a sudden he switches the Bentley out. He's got a Mercedes G-Wagon. Look completely miserable. And from what I've heard from people who know him around the Ohio State, he's just kind of a frumpy guy that's never really happy. So I think in general, the cold affects his play. We all saw that in November in Michigan-Ohio State game. But I think in general, he's just kind of a not very friendly guy to be around. No surprise, a lot of rumors out there that he's kind of, the Ohio State offensive lineman, they don't want to block for him anymore. That's what I've heard. Not sure if it's true or not. But COLDridge Stroud, you're a bum, and hey, you lost to Michigan, and you're about to do it for 2 years in a row. Semi-Chef Jeff, or as Mitchell Renz would say, Geoff or Joffrey, will Ronnie Bell be the Garrett Wilson of U of M this year? No, because Garrett Wilson is an All-American, level player for almost 4 years. I mean, if you think about it, he came out of the gate, scored 2 touchdowns against Michigan as a true freshman in 2018, I guess it was, and scored again in 2019. Didn't play in 2020, and he was a top 15 pick in this last year's NFL draft. Maybe some could say a top 1 or 2 wide receiver in the history of the Big Ten. But Ronnie Bell coming back should not be ignored by Michigan's opponents or their fans, right? 2018, the best play we all remember, that one-handed grab he had across the middle. I think it might have been against Nebraska right before halftime from Shea Patterson. 2019, you had Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's an NFL wide receiver, Nico Collins, who's an NFL wide receiver, and Tariq Black, who he might be on a practice squad. Didn't turn out to be an NFL receiver. All those guys were top 150 recruits, a year class ahead of him. He comes in as a 2-star, and he was Michigan's best wide receiver on that 2019 team. 2020, clearly Michigan's season didn't turn out in 6 games the way we wanted it. And then last year, came out, had that amazing catch on the sideline that they called incomplete, had that punt return, and then had that 76-yard touchdown pass. He only played 2 quarters, Marsh, led the nation in yards per catch, 76 yards per catch in 2021. So, no, I don't think he's going to have Garrett Wilson-type plays or numbers. Wilson's a completely different player. But I do think he reminds me a lot of Jason Avant, longtime Philadelphia Eagle, played at Michigan 2002 to 2005. I think he could have a season like that, 800, 900 yards. The touchdowns is perplexing. Only 5 touchdowns in his 4 seasons at Michigan so far. He needs to work on that a little bit. But if he does get 800, 900 yards as Michigan's potential leading wide receiver, he's got to pair that with 6, 7, 8 touchdowns, which he has yet to do throughout his Michigan football career. All right, question coming in from Scott Harris. Last question on today's AMA. AMA number 2. Number 3 is coming out on Tuesday, so make sure you stick with us. Watch number 1 if you missed it. James, what do you think of Cole Cabana, the 2023 Michigan football running back commit, 10.5 and 104.34 speed? Well, I don't know about the 4.34 speed because a lot of those high school stuff, that's hand times. But he's listed at 6 foot 180, and I went on the internet before filming and I watched his film again just to make sure I understood, what Michigan's getting, because he's been committed for a while, and you kind of forget sometimes about guys who have been committed, what they're bringing, what you kind of take them for granted in some regards. People are gonna make the producer Marshall. You got a joke for me? He's a white running back. So who are we gonna compare him to? We're probably gonna say he's a hard worker, first guy in, last guy out. You guys know all the. What's that? Peyton Hillis. There you go. No, but in a lot of ways he reminds me of a taller Blake Corum, right? If he's truly 6 foot, if he's only 180, Blake's a little bit thicker. He has those humongous legs, but he looks built from the pictures I've seen him, and he certainly has the speed he has. So Blake Corum's got the speed, low center of gravity. I would say maybe Blake Corum is how I think he's going to, shake out something in that regards when he comes to Michigan. Number 230 player in the country, right? That's he was a 3-star. Now he's a 4-star, and the 24/7 composite has him as the 3rd best player in Michigan. So definitely a player that Michigan needed to get, and I think he's going to make a big impact on the field. He potentially could come in next year. Blake Corum will be a junior in 2022. Cole Cabana will come in the year afterwards. If Corum goes pro, you never know. Cabana could get a heck of a lot of snaps as a true freshman in 2023. If you haven't, folks, we are on YouTube, and we just hit 20,000 subscribers yesterday. So thanks a lot for everybody who hit that 20,000, subscribe, helped us hit that 20,000 mark. If you haven't yet, and you enjoyed this show or any show we do, no harm in subscribing. It's free, youtube.com/Michigan TV. Give us a subscribe. All right, join us on Monday. I'm going to chug a beer, do 20 push-ups, and chug another beer in under 2 minutes. So join us back on Monday. Until then, go Blue.